On eve of World Cup, what better way to talk about football than really just pivot back to Liverpool, because that's all we care about. I will say, and I say this every 4 years or every time there's a competition, I will not be watching the World Cup or the international competition in the summer. But just like that, they always pull me back. And I think I said that to you there, didn't I, Kulbir, last week? Welcome back to Liverpool Are Magic podcast. I am Charlie. This is Kulbir. How are we on this World Cup eve, Kulbir?
Not thinking about the World Cup, but actually, the joy of the World Cup's always been the group stages where you see players that you never heard of doing amazing things.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot because what was talking about that unexpected moment? What was probably your biggest unexpected moment from memory when it comes to the World Cup?
That's a very difficult question.
I've got one. Can I just do it while you're thinking of one?
Yeah, go on.
And it's probably really, really obvious, but France had won the World Cup. The next tournament in South Africa, I think it was. It was the first game of the tournament. France were playing an African team, Senegal, I think, or something like that. And there was a breakaway goal from the African player. They scored an absolute worldie. I think it might have been Senegal actually. And their celebration at the end, and they were just partying, and it was just like, wow, what better way or shock way to introduce this World Cup that you get in. And it's a bit of a weird World Cup, to be fair, the one in South Africa anyway, with the vuvuzelas and stuff.
Yeah, the vuvuzelas are strange. It's a very hard, because every World Cup has these players, right? Lamine Yamal kicked into gear in the last World Cup, didn't he? That was like his cup. And but there's always like the people, I always remember like Davil Suker. It's like, who's this guy? They're like, these guys who then came on to play in like England. There's always Liverpool players, right? So Diouf made a big scene at Senegal.
Salah Diao. I think it was that kind of the African, the South Africa tournament that kind of introduced us to those players.
I remember Cody Gakpo being like amazing for Holland. And I'm like, we're going to get this guy. He's going to be amazing.
Right. Let's because it's really topical. Divock Origi, 19-year-old, playing for Belgium, hadn't scored for his country. And what was it? Maybe 2-3 tournaments ago, World Cups. He scores his first ever goal for Belgium in the dying minutes. I can't remember who against, but we actually got introduced to Divock Origi, and unfortunately we're saying goodbye to him. We can share a few words, I'm sure, and talk about Divock Origi before we go into our main subject. I'm sure people are going to be interested about listening to this. But Divock Origi, after all these years and at the very tender age of 31, how I wish I was 31 again, mate. He's called time. I know. He's called time on his footballing career, but what a career he has had, certainly in red. How do you feel hearing the news, or when you did hear the news?
I mean, once a Liverpool player leaves Liverpool, right, they kind of disappear off my radar. So it always upset me a bit that, do you remember when he was at Milan and the fans would tell their players off at the end of the match when they played badly? I remember Divock like going up there and being told off, and I was like, can't tell this guy off. This guy's our hero. He's like our legend. No way.
Yep.
This guy is like like Klopp always says, needs a statue outside of Anfield. Like, no one scored more seminal goals or more key goals, but Divock was just one of those players that had all the talent in the world. And you would say things like, didn't have the discipline, didn't have the consistency, could have been a great. But he's a great for us. He'll always be a great for us. And he scored the most essential goals at the right time for Liverpool, and he'll always be remembered for that. And that's why sometimes it's better to be memorable for great moments with one club than actually try to be the next Messi, Ronaldo, Mo. That's a lot harder thing to do. But for players to kind of be adored by a club, that's what you'd ever want as a football player.
Absolutely. I mean, if you were to be, let's put it against. So you've got probably England's best striker. It's Harry Kane. Okay, so you got Harry Kane with all the goals that he's had throughout his career, and then comparing that to Divock Origi. If you were to say to Harry, would you swap all your goals for the moments that Divock Origi has given fans and the trophies that he's won? you probably said he would be going towards Divock Origi and those clutch moments, because he's Divock Origi has gone down in folklore, certainly for Liverpool in Champions League in numerous games. But yeah, I'm sad that he's going. But he's I think he's going to be starting his own fashion brand.
It's so funny because when players leave Liverpool, there were so many players who were good for Liverpool and don't become good somewhere else.
Yeah,
very few people reach those heights again.
Very few.
And Divock was a classic example of that. And you kind of knew that was going to happen with Divock as well.
Exactly, and I think the atmosphere, the environment that Liverpool gave Origi probably just allowed him to be just him, and it just worked because he maybe didn't capture Jurgen Klopp's kind of admiration, but he appreciated him enough to throw him on. We haven't even spoken about the 96th minute winner against Everton, and seeing the ball just bounce off the bar and then
bobble into the goal. That was like a crazy moment. I remember being there.
I was laughing.
How have we won this match? Like pure joy and pure laughter.
Yeah, I was on the floor. I was literally on my belly, rolling on the floor. If there was anything like that meme or whatever, it's that. But yeah, thank you, Divock Origi. You will not be forgotten.
Never.
Absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure we can talk about Origi at another point, potentially maybe in this chat anyway. But yeah, hopefully that was a bit of a hook. So what we were talking about last time was Arne Slot leaving and what actually went wrong and some of the right things. Since then, a week in football is such a long time there, Kulbir. Andoni Iraola has now joined Liverpool as head coach on a 2-year contract. There's plenty of things to talk about, certainly on those two things anyway. After a tough 5th place finish in the league, Arne Slot has been dismissed.
A disgraceful finish.
Yeah, just above Bournemouth, who were probably historically overachieving, but we've nicked their manager, even though he's walking out the door. What was your reaction to that kind of managerial shift?
The most important thing is that he's bringing hope back, right? Because I don't think a single Liverpool player wanted Slot to stay anyway, but I don't think a single Liverpool player was looking forward to the beginning of the season because there is nothing to look forward to unless we buy some players. So to bring a manager in that it's almost, like I said before, we're happy he's gone, but actually to bring a new manager in who is going to have an identity that we already recognise, that we already adore, is a lot to be excited about. And so I think that's the key thing for me. I don't care how we do. I just want a team that's trying, that we can get behind, that we believe in. And we've all been on the other end of Bournemouth and watched them power through us at times. And so I really hope we can bring that to our team and back to our stadium again, because we've been devoid of enthusiasm and joy for a while. And I think he's going to bring that. So I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean, so what I was thinking of instantly was, first of all, the philosophy that he's got and then the identity you see in his teams, and something that we resonate with from a Jurgen Klopp team, being that front-footed, high-intensity, heavy metal football. I want to use that in inverted commas because I don't think we'll get that, in this day and age, and certainly not with this squad. And we can talk about that.
I think
squad.
The heavy metal football thing is a little bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely,
I don't really know how heavy metal we were. Well, I think we were just a good pressing team.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly. I think the heaviness comes from the success and the goals we used to score in Britain. So I do wonder this.
We're probably more of a heavy metal. I don't really. Is heavy metal the right word? Okay, we were very adventurous, probably more under a Brendan Rodgers team because we were so porous at the back. And you could consider, okay, you score 5, and we'll score. Sorry, if you score 4, we'll score 5. That type of mentality.
That's pretty.
And I don't think we. Yeah, and I don't think we actually had that under Klopp. Certainly in that middle period of his career at Liverpool, the beginning part was the build, the middle was the success, and then towards the end it was kind of the job got bigger than what Klopp had wanted. But yeah, so the other thing I was thinking about was his interview. And the first few words were he understood he wants to be part of, he wants to be with you as the fan. That to me straight away kind of tells me he gets it. One of the things that I read up, potentially, I don't know if we spoke about it, was his potential move to Liverpool years, when he was 31. And he rejected Liverpool. He wrote back to Liverpool giving the reasons, and I think that kind of stood well with the club at that point. So,
he was also,
I think it's great.
Played in the Spanish team, won all the cups as a right back.
Yeah,
how crazy is that?
Yeah.
That could be. I was like, so he's got pedigree.
Yeah,
and that was a beautiful pressing team. That was Barcelona, is what that team was.
Yeah.
He played with Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, right? That's what's crazy to imagine how that.
Yeah.
It must have been there with Arbeloa as well, I guess.
Probably. Puyol is probably the right back or centre back when later on in his career. So Iraola did probably make a success at international level as well. Again, coming back to the World Cup. So let's set the kind of the stakes as to what we want to try to work out. If we were sporting director or sporting directors, double pivot, we can do that. So after kind of a mega historic, if you want to call it that, £450 million spent. Obviously, we sold a lot of players last year. It didn't quite click. So we are going to try to play Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. We are under immense pressure to fix some of the problems that occurred last season and last summer. Let's talk about, first of all, the massive outs, and we all know about those and how that actually leaves a void. The first thing is Salah. The key person in this is always going to be, so how do we fill that void? Is it a number of players that fit in and distribute the goals and the assists? Or is it a single player and we try to get the very best player that we can afford? Very much kind of like what we did with Isak and how that worked, or Florian Wirtz. What's your thinking, and how do we actually do that?
I don't think you should try and replace anyone like for like. You can't replace anyone like Salah, number one, because he was, like he described himself, right? No one scored more goals from the right wing than he's ever done. That's how he described himself. No one could do what he can do. Yeah. But consequently, we never utilise an attacking midfield very well, or a number 9 very well. And actually, right now, we have an amazing attacking midfielder. And we have a couple of 9s. So we are buying and have bought players that play positions in a system that Salah doesn't work in.
Yeah.
Which is what the problem of the season was, because Salah wasn't delivering. So what you need is a right winger, similar to Frimpong, who's got a bit more established, who can run down the wings, cross it in, link with Florian, and help set up goals with a number 9, a central striker. So we need a completely different solution. And that in of itself would mean it would be a cheaper solution, because we don't need what Mo could provide, because we're never going to find that again. So you'll need 1 or 2 players that can play interchangeably kind of team right wing and probably up front as well, given the injury problems that we have. And so that's manageable, right? There are a few players out there like that. And I know we just as at Diomande. I try not to listen to the hype about these sort of things, because as soon as the hype, they seem to not happen. And also Liverpool are very good at doing deals under the radar. So they're already organising things without us knowing. So for us, it's almost like a surprise. So that's why I'm just like, let's just wait and see what they do. I have a bit of faith in Edwards and Hughes in that regard.
I agree. I mean, last summer was a strange one in terms of the the momentum, certainly from like Florian Wirtz, let's say, it just started off with small murmurings, little rumors, and then suddenly becoming a little bit more real, and then the outcome and the fallout with Bayern, and the conversation with his dad, and then that became actually a real thing, and it happened. I was like, wow, what we've just got one of the best players, and maybe the thought process with Salah leaving. Whether that was this summer or next year at the end of his contract, but Liverpool maybe had already started thinking about that contingency process and how you do that.
You know how Florian was presented a proposal by Slot and him and his father, and that's how he got sold on Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
I really would love to have seen that proposal and what was in it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we ever saw it on the pitch.
I think it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, we probably have an idea as to how we would operate, and you probably saw that at the start of the season with Florian playing in the three midfield, but it doesn't work with the two people behind him, and that was the problem.
No, definitely not. And he was expected to press and not lose the ball, so these are all teething things anyway. What are your thoughts about the back line with Ibu, who's not going to be loved that much because he's gone to Madrid, and Robbo, who will remain loved forever?
Absolutely.
Interesting, isn't it, how they both kind of departed in complete different ways. And we will always love Robertson, and we don't mind him being now loyal to Tottenham. Whereas with Ibu, there'll be a bitter taste again, especially because it's Madrid.
Yeah, it was. I think the Madrid talk is that, but also we knew from Andy it was a case that time had come, unfortunately, and you wouldn't feel begrudged against him moving to another team. Fine. The conversation with Konaté was, we were close. I'm still talking. And yet, come the end of the day, as soon as the conversation came in, he was leaving within 2-3 days. He was announced that Real Madrid.
And so, even Fabrizio Romano was like, "Oh, Real Madrid are not approaching Konaté anymore."
Yeah,
what slyness!
yeah. Power to him if he feels that he can go to Madrid and be the player that he feels he can be, because he has been a gold standard central defender, potentially being carried by Virgil, a generational talent that Virgil is and still is. But when you look at the team and the type of player, the type of central defender that Iraola likes, he likes quick, he likes a good passer, he likes someone who can dribble, certainly can defend. With Konaté, he's probably got two out of those 4 or maybe 5 attributes that he is required, and we don't have that. So what do you do?
And Mourinho has high expectations of his defense.
Yeah,
he's a defensive manager, and we know Madrid have one thing in 2 years: they're a team full of superstars, and they haven't delivered. So Ibu will have a relationship with Trent. That's fair enough, but that was really just Ibu will save the day when Trent loses the ball. It wasn't anything more than that. And Ibu has been frail for the last couple of seasons. He's not been himself. So I think he's going to struggle in Madrid. He's not a young up-and-coming player, and he's not a superstar. I think he's past his peak, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at the central defenders that Madrid have, Rudiger and Huijsen, those two alone probably have more talent. And I'm not trying to throw shade, but with Rudiger, he has skin in the game, certainly from Madrid, because of the titles that he has won. Milito is still there, obviously, Brazilian centre-back, and it's going to be hard to replace him. So there's going to have to be some type of movement. He must have been reassured about his playing time to be able to go to Madrid. But then who does Mourinho upset? But that's a conversation for them, not us. I don't really care.
He'll have his favourites there, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm super excited about Jeremy Jacquet coming in. I'm interested to see if he does play any part. I don't know if he's actually in the World Cup squad because of his shoulder injury, and they're giving him time.
I think,
but yeah,
it makes sense. But he's Italian; they're not there, right? Jacque, you mean? Oh, you mean Jacque?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's find out.
But while you're doing that, Jeremy Jacquet, and his ability from what I've seen, certainly kind of fits the bill. And then you have Leone, who
he was
is
amazing when he first hit that one match he played.
Yeah, and we need to be careful with him and making sure that his knee is strong. I'm not too concerned about the centre back. I would love to get another one in, but the fullback situation on both sides concerns me. I don't know what you think, and then certainly maybe a conversation about the goalkeeper as well.
He's not in the squad for France actually.
No, okay. Which is probably good.
The fullback situation, we need the reliability, right? Not injuries, which has been the problem from Frimpong and Bradley. I would trust both of those two to play defence. I don't want Frimpong being up front. That's my general view.
Yeah, that's a bizarre one when you have a right back, wing back playing ahead of Curtis Jones, who's playing right back. It just
made no sense.
Makes no sense.
And I trust Kirkes, to be fair.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
He's pretty tough. That guy is one strong guy, and that guy will become an Anfield hero because I've never seen anyone put his head in danger as much as Kirkes.
He's absolutely.
He already need backup, and there rumours of Tsimikas coming back, wasn't there?
I think so. Yeah. So Tsimikas is probably an easy one. It's a free. We don't need to pay for any type of fee or whatever. He just comes back in from his loan. It just makes sense. He's an adequate backup.
Which is hard for him because he actually achieved quite a lot with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just he's had one of probably the best left back for Liverpool's, maybe in the Premier League. There's lots of conversations, Ashley Cole, Dennis Irwin, etc. But for Liverpool, probably in the Premier League, definitely for the Premier League era, the best left back ahead of him. But yeah, right back, I still feel that there's a gap that we need to address. Bradley, there's a picture going around in social media where his leg is he's lost a lot of muscle around his leg. So that's really concerning.
And you want to talk about up front as well about Chiesa?
Oh yeah. So, what are your thoughts about Chiesa? Actually,
I don't think Chiesa is good enough.
I love his passion. I love the man.
I think he works hard, but he was too. His utility in the Liverpool team was as part of the kitchen sink where you just threw on, and just to say, "Go do something." Oh, nice. But
his old man, his dad played at Euro '96. This isn't obviously original from Euro '96, but it's just something. As soon as Chiesa signed, sorry to put people listening on podcast probably thinking what's happened to me. I'm just holding up a Chiesa Euro '96 shirt.
Is it Euro '96?
Yeah, that's Euro '96.
Was it '96 that he was? No, that's 20 years ago. No,
30 years ago. Yeah, so his dad was playing.
Oh, I thought you meant his first World Cup where he was amazing.
No. Yeah, no. His dad played at Anfield, scored, and I thought it was written in the stars. I thought, yeah, this is amazing, but it just didn't work out. Great player,
but we don't know how to use him because he's not fast. He doesn't have the greatest ball control.
No,
a great shot and great positioning. So he would have been better as he was a winger, wasn't he? Really. But unable to be a winger anymore, so he's kind of in that second part of his career where he's going to work out how to score goals from different positions.
We probably didn't play him in his best position though.
Nah, never did.
Left wing. Right wing. No, sorry. Let me get my left and right. Left wing, where Cody Gakpo and whatnot. He probably didn't play in his best position for me anyway. From what I've seen when he plays.
There were times where we did try him in left back and he failed. epically failed in the FA Cup in the first season slot was there.
Yeah, I know, but he was playing with
like the most disappointing players in that match.
Plymouth. That was against Plymouth, wasn't it? I remember. But if you look at the team that he was playing with, like his teammates, that's not a team. And I think he's been hard done by.
He has been hard done by. He's not given the chance.
No, he hasn't.
I do not see enough when he's on, especially if he plays more than the last 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. So I probably would consider that he will leave.
He's not going to get the minutes. He would not get the minutes under Iraola.
I don't think so.
And it's going to be but he got a Premier League title out of us, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the celebrations when all the fans were kind of singing the song and then jeering him to lift the trophy. He was a little bit reluctant, but you know.
And he had the best song. The best song.
Yep.
It's amazing how that took over from being like Diogo's song was GK's the best song.
Yeah.
So what do you think about cutting the deadwood or losing our veterans is a hard question to answer. What is the role of the older player, the older legend?
Well, let's call them out. So you got Alisson and Virgil. You got Joe Gomez, and that's probably it. That's probably your. I think from the old guard, the players that have seen it, believed it, whatever. It's just them. So what are their responsibilities? I'd probably say they just continue doing what they're doing.
I don't think Virgil is a natural leader. He's a leader by demonstration. He's a
demonstration, performance.
He's not. Yeah. He's not like a Henderson who's shouting and organising people. That's not what he does. And Alisson always said for years that he doesn't like shouting at his defenders. He's always said he has more respect for his teammates than that. And then you do see him shouting as he's got a bit older. But he's the number one keeper for Brazil now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that mad? Because I just don't even look at him like he's Brazilian. Like that doesn't register in my brain because he is the opposite to Brazilian. Because he's not a flamboyant keeper. His saves are tactical masterclass in keeping. Like he does not do death-defying saves. He does good positioning, puts a striker off, gets to the right position, so he doesn't have to make the big saves, which is why he's so great. And that is the opposite to being Brazilian. I mean, you dribble a lot around defenders. That's a bit Brazilian, which you had to nip that in the bud.
Yeah. So in general, South American goalkeepers are just crazy. Shiliver, I don't know if you remember him, but
Chile,
and then the guy that did the scorpion kick, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
But so and then the Mexican goalkeeper who loved a short sleeve. I love
Campos.
talking about old. Yeah, that's it, Campos. I just love talking about old school football. Could talk about it for hours, and my favourite players, Batistuta being one of them, of all time anyway.
This is an interesting thing, right? Because we are an older generation, and I do believe the hype over players is so escalated with the internet and the transfer speculation and the elevation that helps to elevate prices, it helps to elevate expectations, right? The YouTube videos.
Yeah.
The worst one, right? We've all watched YouTube videos of people's goals and think, this is going to be great, and they're never the same. Because YouTube videos are just that, right? It's like, I'll give you an example of this, right? Is people enter legendary status based on moments, which is what Divock was doing. But I think I said to you before, when I used to watch Steven Gerrard play, half the games, he was never that bothered.
Yeah.
And I'd watch him going, he really doesn't give a crap in this game. And he's now gone down in the echelons of history as the greatest midfielder England's ever had.
Yeah.
But there were times where he did nothing. And I was just very surprised, sent off his last game, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Messi was the same. We just walk around, just dawdle. So we've been talking about Deadwood and who else could be leading and the roles of senior players. I guess the thing we probably need to kind of address, and we probably haven't spoken about it just yet, is the tactical philosophy and the needs and the demands on players. So if we think about the midfield, just example, have we got the midfield that would be able to cope with Iraola-ball? You're looking at Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister being your top three. Are they equipped to be able to do what Iraola expects?
I think because there's two of them, right? They have to have two players behind Wirtz, and you'd usually you choose Gravenberch and you choose Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, yes. Gravenberch, a little bit more pace, but yes. McAllister has so many problems with fitness that I wonder if he's able to do that job. So I think that he'll be moved on, and we'd buy someone else to be able to play either a traditional 6 role or someone else that could be like an 8 role. I don't see how we can get around that.
There's a couple of players that stick out. I don't know if we'll see anything. Both of them are at the World Cup. Lamine Camara and Sangare, I think it is. But Kamara's the interesting one. I think he's Senegalese. So he's playing for his country at the World Cup. Barring any issues with visas and getting patted down, I think that's ridiculous. This World Cup is. We can cover that off. We'll see what happens in the World Cup, but you've got Somalian referees being turned away. One of the best. That's a disgrace. I think a lot of things. I worry from a fan's perspective and what may happen. I hope it doesn't.
That with the Winter World Cup though, the Winter World Cup was a weird World Cup. It wasn't really. Mm-hmm. It feels nice to have a cup in the summer. It feels nice to be able to not miss the Premier League for too long.
Yeah,
which has always been the rationale for the World Cup, right? It's always the joy. Every other year you had something a tournament to watch. But the one in was it Saudi or was it Qatar? Was strange, right?
It turned into a good World Cup.
It was because of Messi, right?
Yeah, that story.
Messi and the Dutch should have beaten Argentina, right? I was like, how have they won this match?
Yeah.
And that happened regularly. It's like, how have Argentina won
the Dutch or the French?
Both.
Yeah.
Both matches, I was like, they should be winning this. And Messi pulled out the bag, and that's what escalated Messi into greatness, into the greatest of all time. I mean, I always used to say that Ronaldo was a better overall player than Messi because he was a better leader. And now Messi is the leader he was destined to be.
Yeah.
Because Ronaldo took Portugal to the European Cup, and he wasn't even in the final, right? And whereas Messi now take him to the World Cup and will forever be remembered as one of the greatest players of all time, probably. And he's got that X scene, he's got the leadership and the captaincy, and that's what he always needed. He was never that player before.
Yeah. A silent leader, not one to shout at anyone, but he did the talking on the pitch. We've seen plenty of those examples. Gerrard being one of those who you've mentioned, Virgil being the other.
But yeah, it was such a weird World Cup. It was just at the wrong time. But actually, it was the football always wins. So whatever the shenanigans of the US or the corruption, there'll be 90 minutes on that pitch, which will be the fun. And that's what people fight for, right? I don't buy into it's like the Neymar Jr. thing, right? I've never rated Neymar as a great player. I rate him as a skilled player.
Right? Yeah.
But I feel like his popularity comes from just YouTube.
He's just like a street footballer, isn't he?
Yeah. And what's he going to do now? He's not going to be the guy. He had his chance to be that guy. Brazil, I think Brazil are an outside bet because I think Ancelotti will get them into shape.
I saw something the other day about so John Barnes was talking on TalkSport potentially, and he spoke about PSG. So PSG had Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar. 3 superstars, what we deem to be superstars, but they didn't win anything.
Yeah.
As soon as Enrique came in, he shipped them along, or whatever happened with those, and he created a super team, a superstar team, and I think that's what you see with Brazil. I agree. I'm with you with the Brazil shout. Haven't seen them. Who's the Brazilian number 9? Plays for Brentford. Igor, I think it is Tudor, something like.
Oh,
no, he's a manager. But yeah, getting a tune out of him, even though he's like playing mid-level Premier League team, and he's their like number one striker. I think it takes
as well, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's also a great player.
Crazy on the pitch, flying elbows and stuff like that. But he's no Bobby Firmino. He's no Bobby Firmino.
I thought Bobby Firmino would be the key to that Brazil team, but it never really panned out.
Yeah.
Like the unselfish hidden star is what he was.
Again, yeah, maybe had they changed tact and become more like what Ancelotti's doing, and maybe he would have been the star that we hadn't seen him for years be. Right, rumour mill. Let's talk about rumour mills, and because we had kind of put a bit of flavour on it. It seems like this Diomande, diamond player, seems to be getting some traction. Doesn't seem to be going away, even though PSG had conversation. So I guess, have you seen enough of him?
No, I avoid this now.
Yeah,
just purely because of disappointment. I want to avoid. I don't want to go. Yeah, this guy's gonna be good, and then he never comes.
Yeah,
because it's just like a waste of time, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what? I'm just waiting for the James Pearce tweet to come in. Liverpool are monitoring the situation, or Liverpool had decided that it was in best interest in keeping with the squad that they've got. Thanks. Okay, let's see. I'm waiting for.
But also, the other thing is like often when a player performs at the World Cup, they're already signing for someone else.
Yeah, you know what though? That's true, because I get PTSD from players that we've signed purely based on the World Cup. I'm looking at you, El Hadji Diouf.
El Hadji Diouf.
That sliding doors moment when we had Anelka and Diouf, and I was, we look back, and I think everyone at the time was like, why didn't we keep with Anelka?
Anelka, man, another legendary player.
I know, he could have been one of the best, but had life been different and choices, just I guess like Neymar, if he had stayed at Barca, who knows what could have been achieved in that Barca team, with Messi being as good as he is always. So
Diomande, Bradley Barcola is the other one, right?
I don't rate him, and I think the final
rate him highly either.
Oh man, no, not for me. And I think that the Champions League final kind of told you everything about him. He can't finish, and I don't think we can ride that. We've had too much of this from Nunes. Even the Nunes chat.
Oh,
please,
I was never a fan of Darwin, ever, right? Because ever since he got sent off against
Fulham.
And I was like, this guy's a joke. And his finishing, his misses weren't just misses; they were awful. And he just seemed he had always pulled a stupid face when he would miss. Like, what happened there? That should have got in every single time. And so I was like, you're not good enough to play as a 9. But once again, a bit like Divock, you score goals when you need him to score goals. Obviously, the 2 goals at Newcastle. But I was excited about him, and I realized actually no, he's not good.
Well, I think the season before
he was loved.
He was, yeah, I know. I was never on that train.
Could not believe it how much they loved him.
I felt like with at the time a really good bloke about it. He was very much on the Nunes train, but he just never saw it in as much as we experienced the problems and the misses week after week after week, and you just wouldn't see it. And I don't know what it was about him. Maybe just the passion. Got to the fans.
He won the league.
He won the league, but there was opportunities to wrap stuff up.
You win League Cup, FA Cup as well.
Yes, yeah.
He was there with 3 seasons in the end. goal scoring tally was pretty poor.
Horrible.
But yeah, I mean,
anyway,
I think our left side is taken care of. I don't think we'll lose Cody. I don't think we'll lose Rio. There's no way we'll send Rio to Germany.
No,
you
definitely
could loan
not.
him to get the experience and to win something, but he's getting stronger. Have you seen how it just seems like he's getting taller as well?
The his debut just the other day, I think, for England. Granted, it wasn't against the best opposition, but just shows how good he is. It's a strange one because he's a winner and a loser because he's made his debut and people are talking about him, and then suddenly he's a loser because he's not in the squad and he's not going to the World Cup, and maybe doesn't justify because he isn't a regular for Liverpool. However, I do feel by the end of the upcoming season he will be our first choice left winger. I think so. I think he's good enough. I think he's got all the tools, all the skills, all the mentality as well.
Iraola, he's got the opportunity to be a pressing beast because he's got pace. So if you harness him and get his fitness better, he'll be rapid.
Yeah.
You could be like Sadio. He's got to become very physically strong, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the other guy that we're talking about, Diomande, I think he's very much like Semenyo, very much like Sadio, that type of really strong player that's got both feet, can run at defenders, run past defenders, etc. He's got all the skills. Whether 100 million euros or 100 million pounds is the right figure for a lad that's only just broken in this season, he's 19. It seems a bit much, but
how do we handle the escalation in money? It is an impossible situation. You can't buy attacking players for less than 100 mil these days.
Yeah.
And as soon as a big club goes for them, that's it. You've lost because the money is impossible to reduce.
Yeah. Hopefully, Diomande doesn't like the Eiffel Tower and doesn't want a presentation of the Eiffel Tower and wants to come to Liverpool because he's heard.
Well, he's left side, right? He's right side, isn't he? So you've got Dewey, right, and you've got Barcola. Barcola's left, isn't he? You're not. I don't think you're going to break into that team, but there are many players that will go to PSG because they know they're going to win trophies.
Yeah,
and he's in Germany.
Dewey is ahead of him, I'd say as well.
Dewey is
PSG. Dewey's just phenomenal.
I always thought he was a bit young and a bit overrated, but then he's not. He really isn't. That guy can do anything.
Talking about PSG, supposedly there was that chat about them offering 3 players, one of those being Emery. He's a phenomenal player. He's got all the tools.
Zaïre-Emery.
That's it. All the tools to be a phenomenal midfielder. And if we were looking for someone that would replace McAllister, him. Amazing.
McAllister was a very interesting person. I never fully understood his role for Brighton. And I then kind of got it when he played well for Liverpool. And he was a really good utility player, a sweeper, pick the ball up, caused a bit of harass people, scored some goals. And then suddenly he just became the player I always imagined him to be last year.
And I think we said last week, the best midfielder in the league last season. And the reasons why he's not this season was what we feel is that injury and then the lack of pre-season, and then the issues with the coaching is probably what kind of exacerbated all those issues. But whether he can return to be that player or he has a desire to leave, I think if we get the money, take it. I would.
I think so too. And I think for him, he's probably peaked. I can't remember how old he is.
26, 27?
Yeah, I think he's peaked. He's either peaked now or he's just past it. It makes me sad because I really liked him. He's in the Argentina squad though, so let's see what he does for Argentina.
Yeah, exactly. And he's always performed well while playing for Argentina, and I think they appreciate him a lot, and I'm sure we do as well. It's just what we expect from Iraola. Sticking with that. And do you think there's opportunities for us to go to Bournemouth and take some of their players? Are their players actually good enough? Or Alex Scott is being mentioned and mooted, but Bournemouth want 80 million for Alex Scott, and I think that's rich.
I've no idea. I always feel a bit aggrieved when we rob the team of the manager. I always feel that's quite harsh on them.
I think he's a good player, but we've got Szoboszlai. I just think he can do all the same things, and he's already here, and he hasn't even worked as yet under Iraola, and I think he will thrive under Iraola. Dominic.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't think even Klopp got the most out of Dominic.
No, definitely not. Didn't know how to use him. Didn't know what position, and I think it worked really well. I think this is one of the reasons why Salah didn't do as well, because he didn't have that right-sided midfielder coming in and protecting him, a la Henderson being that type of player, and then Dominic coming in, and I think we changed too much of that triangle between Salah, Dominic, and Trent. Obviously, because Trent's gone, but that triangle was perfect. And then you had that with Henderson for Dom, and once that goes, it just didn't work.
So, what do you think Iraola is going to do with our current players that we bought last season?
He's gonna put them under the most stringent training regime known to man. I believe he's probably there is that talk about bringing in an ex-player. If that's Jimmy Milner, oh my word, bless McAllister's socks, because he's going to be on his arse come the end. But yeah, I think it's just that we've had a year where we've essentially not played to the intensity, and now he's going to go with that, not giving players time off. And so that's going to be so difficult. I mean, do you agree? Do you think that's going to be the biggest change in terms of
our team are not full of precious players, right? They're not precious. They are a team that have worked hard to get to where they got to. I don't think they will take that challenge on. I don't think there's a problem with that, because even Gravenberch was under Klopp with the pressing team, right? So they all know it. They all played with the person that would do it. And you look at the new players, Isak scored that wonder goal for Sweden. Did you see that goal?
Yeah.
Wow. He's clearly in a much better place than he has been before, and he will work harder. Ekitike is not averse to working hard. Florin's working hard, but I think they just need to focus on the tactical discipline. I don't think they knew what the tactics were last year, but the tactical discipline, I think, is what Iraola is going to bring.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that we have a manager that is something that we will hopefully enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Right, because we couldn't watch football last year, and I started a podcast because of this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like, how do you deal with what we're seeing in front of us every week in, week out, this misery? How do you not do your manager? But so Iraola is a breath of fresh air, and I'll give him 2 years. That's deliberate, right? He chooses that.
Yeah,
he wants to make sure that he is being challenged at all times, and he doesn't rest his laurels. And I have a lot of respect for that.
What are your thoughts? I've got some apprehensions around it, but if you've got thoughts about that 2-year contract and what it means over that period.
I think he's going to need a season to bed in, and then his next season will either be.
Exactly.
The problem is when you give a contract normally when the year is about to go up, right? Not for managers so much, right?
Yeah.
If someone comes knocking for him, say he wins this league in his first season, right? He's going to be wanted by Spain somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
But I think that's asking a lot. But it sounds like he understands the fans and the players.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he's going to demonstrate some loyalty. And let's go back to the Basque thing, right? So the Basque people they want to be separate from Spain on the whole, right? And they're very proud people. They're not dissimilar to Punjabis.
Yeah.
And they have their culture, they have their own language, they have their own food, and they have their own way. My son is named in the Basque way of Javier, right?
Yeah.
It begins with an X, right?
Yep.
So they are unique, they are distinct, and that's what Liverpool are compared to the rest of the country. Like the phrase I said in my last video was like, "We're not English, we're Scouse." You don't see England flags in the right. You don't really see the patriotism to England that you do to Liverpool and Everton in the city. And that's something I really like about this city. It's one of the reasons why I love being here. Is because we are fiercely loyal to our clubs, but we don't have that obligatory patriotism, which is often associated with a lot of negative connotations with England Football Club. And it makes me sad that I don't take joy from England very much. Well, Southgate played a boring brand of football. Better success, but I didn't take any joy in that success. I was indifferent. So I think Iraola is going to bring some loyalty and a branding to Liverpool. And I think if he's successful, I can't see him leaving unless someone big comes for him. And I don't buy into this idea that managers who do well at smaller clubs struggle with bigger clubs. I think there's a cultural and a political situation at big clubs that you have to navigate. So I think Thomas Frank dealt with the Spurs situation. Okay, Levy disappeared and left, but Thomas Frank didn't have the players doing what he wanted. I think that was quite obvious. But I don't think Iraola's going to have that problem. So he's a charming guy. Like, he's very friendly, smiley, and he's passionate. And that's what we want. Like, look at Bournemouth last year when they succeeded. There's a lot of love for the fans in that team. So I expect he'll emulate that. And as long as we are trying, like the early years of Klopp weren't successful, right? It wasn't as if they won everything, but they were passionate and they were fun, and we enjoyed watching them.
What was the thing that, and I'm going to put you on the spot, but what was the thing about Rafa Benitez that came across when either on the side of the pitch, in the coaching area, or in conversation in front of a camera? What was the thing that stuck out for you? I think it's clear. It's night and day when it comes to him and Klopp.
Benitez he liked to complain, and
just cold, wasn't he?
Huh?
He was cold.
He was very cold, and he was bitter. But from the beginning, he was always a kind of a flat kind of character, very analytical, clearly very bright. But he wasn't a guy that you would die for. And his brand of football was successful. You cannot argue that. But there came a point where actually the players stopped doing what he said. I think that happens naturally, to be honest. But he was a clever guy. He's been successful everywhere, right? Never gets the credibility he deserves.
No.
Right? Never gets it. And it upsets me because he did well in Spain and Italy and with Chelsea and Liverpool. And people still don't give him the credibility. I think he still has a house in Liverpool.
I think so. Because his daughters used to go to school here. I'm pretty sure that they've moved on and doing other things. But yeah, there's so many similarities I feel with Rafa and on his slot in terms of how they are probably not poor communicators, but not enthusiastic communicators.
They're not
storytellers. Yeah, they're not storytellers.
No.
Whereas Klopp was a different grade. You know, he could be a politician and you would fight for him. And you know, I look at Mamdani and the way he speaks. I know this is getting really political, but I love the way that he communicates and how he invigorates.
Surprisingly non-Dutch.
Yeah. But yeah, so with Iraola, who knows what will happen once pressure builds on, because it's not going to be perfect in that first season, I don't think, unless it's a complete miracle and we buy all these players. But you know, who else can we look at? So we've been just chatting away, and I've loved this pod, but we did have an agenda. I don't think we've actually properly kept to it. Yeah. Transfers. So we know that there's lots of gaps. Do you think we'll have a busy summer? Do you think it's a case of we sell as many as we can to then buy, but then we run the risk of what we did last season and we sell too many?
We last summer was very un-Liverpool-like. And that hasn't worked out.
No.
So I think we need to go back to kind of keeping a tight squad, and bringing some players in that have potential to be great and don't buy great players.
Yes.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it normally when I watch football. I don't buy into like I said, the YouTube videos, the Neymar Juniors. I don't buy into that at all. It's the understated people who will become great. I think that's what we used to be able to scout really well.
Yeah, I love that. I love when we make a great player.
But believe in the youth, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want, because they're the people. Because you need young people to be able to work as hard as Iraola wants them to work. You can't take people who are already established; they've already got the habits. You need to have youth that's going to grow, and grow with the team. So you've got a very young defense. You've got a midfield that we need an addition who already know how to work hard, and you've got an attacking group that kind of need to align with a new strategy. So it's don't bring in too many people. You need a right-sided attacker is the most important signing, I think.
Yeah, and I think that will be the first signing. I do feel I'll put a prediction out because it's just the feelings and the conversation that are coming out in social media. I do think that's going to be the first one that's going to be addressed. Diomande before the World Cup. I think that will happen.
That's like 24 hours.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, that's true. Yes. But yeah, I think it'd be relatively quick.
I hope so. I really do. I do have faith. I mean, the Iraola thing was super fast.
Yeah. Exactly. That just came out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting. This summer is a bit of a weird one with the World Cup and being that it is for so long, weeks and weeks and weeks of international football.
Have you seen that tournament structure? There's so many teams, right? There's so many third-place teams that can get through to the last 32.
Exactly. You could be crap, but then still have the back door to get through and,
the tables
and whatever.
Are crap.
Yeah.
It's obvious who's going to win almost every single table.
What was is it the Nations Cup? I think that's a balmy tournament. I never understood.
No.
Never understood how you win that. Yeah, but yeah, let's call it a day on this brilliant episode. I don't know if there's anything else before we close up.
I didn't expect you to go on the World Cup stuff. I wasn't expected to preview the World Cup.
No, I wasn't.
Negative expectations.
Yeah, sorry, man. I was again, hence why the agenda didn't get stuck to. Didn't mention one thing about World Cup, and he ended up having a proper conversation about the World Cup. But yeah, it's tomorrow. So tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be watching the game. But I'm going to go going to go to cinema. So actually, going to work, go cinema, then watch the World Cup. That's a full day, and not going to see the wife. Don't know how she feels about it. So we'll see. I'll give you an update. I'll give anyone who's listening to this podcast an update of my marital issues come next week. And if I'm still married, come next week, because I just ignored my wife for one day.
Brilliant. I don't really. She doesn't. I just escape at pertinent times.
I love it.
Don't go to cinema without her anyways. That's how it has to work.
Yeah, well, I've got a 2-year-old, so we kind of have to share the load and just stay. So yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Let's see what happens in the first week of the World Cup. If there's some talking points, we'll be back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Liverpool, either Liverpool players playing, but also Liverpool-linked players that I would love to kind of keep an eye on and see how we get on. I'm not going to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'll just kind of get a flavour as to what we can see. But yeah, so if you like this podcast, do all the usuals, like, subscribe, leave us a comment about what you've heard today. What you feel about the World Cup, what you feel about the players that we've spoken about, who you feel that we need to kind of bring in. But yeah, until next time, up the Reds.
Awesome. See you soon.